In the summer of 2019, Sean and his girlfriend Brittany were camping along the banks of the Kenduskeag River in Bangor, Maine. After a day of fishing, they settled in for the night. But around 2:30 a.m., something woke Sean. Quote, "I noticed a faint shimmery oval on the tent wall, about the size of a dinner plate. Thinking my eyes must be playing tricks on me because it was so late, I rubbed my eyes a couple of times to get a clear view. To my surprise, it was still there." End quote. The light had a blue hue and hovered near the tent before slowly moving backward and vanishing. Brittany remained asleep, and Sean, not wanting to disturb her, didn't mention the strange sight. Then it returned, and it wasn't alone. Quote, "I know how unbelievable this sounds, and I probably would have my doubts believing this too if I hadn't seen it for myself. The blue one came back with a green one and a red one and at least 2 white ones that I noticed." End quote. Sean was scared and unsure of what to do. He tried to convince himself that the orbs were just reflections from nearby homes, but he knew that wasn't possible. He watched as the orbs aligned in a row and hovered eerily close to the tent. The colored ones moved slowly forward, while the white ones rose and danced high above the tent in an almost ethereal display. To Sean's disbelief, the orbs passed through the tent wall and hung in the air above Brittany. They lingered silently in front of him. Desperate to prove he wasn't imagining things, he shook his girlfriend awake. He needed her to see what was happening. When she opened her eyes, she saw the strange lights above her and screamed. Quote, "She was so shocked and scared that all she could do or say was, yeah, hell no," and threw her head under the covers and curled up to me as tight as she could, trembling with fear. End quote. The green orb floated closer to him. Then a thought, not his own, entered his mind. Quote, "Don't be afraid. We are not here to harm you." End quote. Instead of offering reassurance, it only deepened his fear. Quote, "It's hard to describe exactly the fear and panic and helplessness I was going through. This was really happening, and these things clearly had a consciousness, because not only did they have deliberate and organized movement, they could sense my fear and were trying to calm me down." End quote. He could no longer ignore that the orbs were sentient. As if to confirm his thought, the red orb responded when he offered his hand toward it. Quote, "I got a childlike sense from it, and it slowly came closer to my hand, kind of like a kitten would approach, with curiosity and caution." End quote. As it got closer, the orb began to change shape. Sean's eyes struggled to process the transformation, but eventually it became clear. Quote, "By the time it got to my hand, it looked like what I could only describe as a little pixie or fairy. A tiny humanoid figure with slender wings like a dragonfly, still made of red light, but a defined figure." End quote. Sean tried to tell Brittany what was happening, urging her to look at the being, but she refused. Instead, she kept her head firmly buried beneath the covers, too afraid to face the unfolding strangeness. In what felt like an unexpected act of understanding, the tiny figure retreated, backing away from Sean's outstretched hand. It shifted back into its previous orb-like shape and rejoined the others. Together, they moved out of the tent, hovered briefly alongside the white orbs, and then disappeared completely. Despite the fear he felt at the time, Sean now reflects on the encounter with deep appreciation. Quote, "It is by far the most amazing and unbelievable thing I've ever witnessed and encountered in my life. So I can tell you firsthand there was definitely something supernatural and spiritual along the Kenduskeag stream." End quote.